We'll start with a little overview of what the talk will look like. First, we'll do an arrival practice. We'll just get settled in being here. I know many people rush in from other places. We're going to talk about stress today and resilience. Then we'll practice some resilience building practices. And at the end, hopefully, there'll be some time for Q&A. If you are watching the recording of this presentation, please pause to get a piece of paper and a pen. And whenever you see type in chat, feel free to just write your answers on the paper instead, so you can still participate. So let's begin by arriving. I invite you to find a comfortable seat, and I'll ring a bell just to remind us to be here now. We begin by just arriving, bringing attention to whatever's happening right now, paying close attention to what's happening in the mind, what thoughts are present right now, noticing what's happening in the body, any sensations at all that can be felt here. Noticing too any feelings, perhaps noticing your mood. Noticing how you're feeling now. Describing as best you can what this moment feels like. What's occurring for you right here, right now. Noticing what thoughts in particular are buzzing through the mind, and also what's happening in the environment around you. Any sounds that you can hear. Maybe noticing the temperature of the air on your skin. What else can be noticed? It may help to close or soften your eyes to really take this all in. Noticing here, as you turn inward, the landscape of the mind as it perceives what is happening outside the body and within the body. And as best you can, bringing full, gentle attention now to where you feel the breath most easily. Feeling into the sensations of the breath, how it moves the body. Maybe you feel the breath most strongly in your nostrils or your chest or your belly. It may be helpful to place a hand on the belly or even on the chest, tuning into the breath in this moment, inviting your attention to rest here, the breath, and anchor into what's happening right now. Simply following the breath gently, noticing its texture, its wave, not having to do anything at all, simply just following your own breath as it is right now, moment by moment. This breath, and this breath. Gradually expanding awareness now to include all awareness experience in this moment. The breath flowing in, flowing out, rocking the body, the sensations of the body, thoughts, feelings, mood. In the breath, in the present moment, we can be open to whatever's happening right now and see if it's at all possible to simply rest in this awareness, softening to whatever was happening just a few minutes ago, following the breath, coming back to the moment just as it is right now in this breath, and this breath. Gently resting our awareness on our breath. Noticing how you're feeling now. As you open your eyes and type in the chat, how are you feeling now? Using the chat feature to type in, how are you feeling now? Kathleen, perhaps you can share as people, here we go, refreshed, calm, centered. Mhm. Focused. Just noticing. Before we go any further, now that you've noticed how you're feeling now and maybe noticing how it was different from how you were feeling when you first entered, I'll ask, who's here? Which one of these best describes you? And I'll invite Kathleen to initiate the poll. You can submit your votes. Which one best describes you? You've got some care partners of people living with memory and thinking changes, lifelong learning lovers, like that. Lots of lifelong learning lovers. That's great. You are all welcome, and this presentation has something for everybody, so thank you for joining today. So let's start by talking about stress. What is stress? Well, I think we all kind of have an idea about it, but essentially stress is how your body reacts when you feel pressure from a situation or event. It happens when you feel like what you're being asked to do is more than you can manage, or even more than you can manage on your own, or even more than you can manage with help from others, right? It's when the task exceeds our abilities in the moment. That causes stress. I think most of us are familiar with some common stress symptoms like feeling overwhelmed or anxious, having a lot of fear, worry, sometimes feeling even hopeless, or it may come out for you as like angry outbursts, being really short with people, more so than you would normally when you're stressed, or having mood swings, feeling pretty good and then all of a sudden feeling like out of sorts, being irritable or more easily frustrated. You might experience stress through rumination or when your mind gets stuck in a loop where you're just ruminating or going over and over again in the same situation. Or maybe it comes out, one coping mechanism for you is increased use or even abuse of alcohol or tobacco or other drugs. Or maybe you have trouble sleeping, or maybe you get more frequent headaches or stomach aches, or you have other health problems, or just get sick more often. Some people experience stress as, sadness. They become overwhelmed and feel despair even, or tearfulness. Others might feel so overwhelmed that they procrastinate or even neglect self-care or other responsibilities. These are all really common stress symptoms that you probably recognize. The first step in doing anything about stress really is to identify it. It's important to know what stress is like for us individually, because everyone experiences it a little bit differently. So I'd like, if you will, to take a moment. You can close or soften your eyes if that helps. And just imagine one thing in your life right now that is causing you the most anxiety or stress. It could be person or an interaction that you had yesterday or this week. It could be a work project or an interaction you had with your care partner. Whatever it is, just select one and imagine it like you're playing it as a movie in your mind's eye. Imagine the interaction. Notice how you reacted to this stressor. What did you do? How did you act? And as you come up with this in your mind, playing it again and again as a movie, this thing that stressed you out, I'd like you to notice or visualize, where do you feel this stress in your body the most? Where does this arise? Is it in your jaw, in your shoulders, your neck? Is it in your stomach? Or is it in your arms or legs or muscles? Is there tension there? Where do you feel stress in your body most? And I invite you to open your eyes and share in the chat. Where do you feel stress in your body? Chest, heart, and shoulders. Yeah, often we get this action or this action. Shoulders, neck, and shoulders. Lots of tension here. In my temples, yeah. Headaches can come from that. In my chest. Yeah. These are all common examples. Many people say they feel their arms or tension building in their arms or legs as well, or their stomach reeling. Now, I want you to think about how you're feeling now. How are you feeling now when you think about this stressful situation? Notice how you're feeling. You can type in chat, how does it feel? What does stress feel like? Overwhelmed, yeah, the heartbeat increases. Mhm, mhm. Some people say they feel sad or scared, tension, tense, anxious. Some people even say they feel like they want to push it away. Need to get away from that feeling. Mhm. Stress activates your sympathetic nervous system. It's actually there's a physiological response to stress, which you perfectly described in the symptoms that you noticed. You said your chest was tightening. Well, that makes sense because your heart is beating faster. Your brain, your body is sending all the blood to your heart, to your muscles, right, and your neck and your shoulders. It's sending everything, all the blood there so that you can get away, basically. This is a physiological response where the body interprets stress as danger and mobilizes you for action, for survival. Okay? So when you're stressed out, you actually don't think as well because the blood's leaving the brain and going to the muscles so you can get away. You might feel tired. You are foggy headed. You're certainly not making your best decisions. In fact, the brain turns off so you can just react, right? You can get the heck out of there. Blood pressure goes up also to help you get away. Your digestive system shuts down. You don't need that when you're running from a predator. Your muscles tense. You're ready for fight, flight, or freeze, right? This is built for humans thousands of years ago when we were running from lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, right? Now we're running from emails and and other stressors that maybe aren't quite as salient as a tiger, but our body doesn't know the difference, and it turns on this stress response. Now, fortunately for us, there's the parasympathetic nervous system, which is essentially the opposite. And this is what is activated when we're resting, when we're at rest, when we're completely calm and at ease. The blood actually goes to our brains, our stomachs, so our heart rate slows, our digestion improves, the blood pressure goes down, and we can, in calm states, when we're in the zone, we can think more clearly, we're more focused, we're able to remember things better. This is our mind and body on resilience, if you will. So let us stop for a moment to turn on our parasympathetic nervous system. We just turned on our sympathetic nervous system. Let us now flip that light switch. And by the way, if the parasympathetic is on, the sympathetic is off, which means if you turn on your rest and digest, you turn off your stress response. It's a light switch, an on-off button, which means we can have some control over this. Okay. So we just turned on the light switch for our sympathetic, our fight, flight, freeze response. Let us now practice turning it off. So let's practice stop. I'll ring the bell, but you don't really need it. So let's just stop. Stop everything. Stop moving. You may want to close or soften your eyes just to be able to turn inward. And I'd like you to take 3 really deep cleansing breaths. So where you breathe in for a count of 4. So breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. And then breathe out more slowly for a count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. Let's practice that again. Breathe in. Hold and breathe out more slowly than you breathed in. Hold. One more time. Breathe in. filling the lungs, opening the chest. Hold and breathe out slowly, slowly as you can. Chest soften, soften the muscles. And then allow the breath to find its natural rhythm and invite your attention to rest here. Really feeling into breathing in and feeling into breathing out. Noticing the body, perhaps inviting the body to soften wherever you notice tension, maybe in the jaw, the neck, inviting the shoulders to melt on the back, the arms and the legs to soften. Noticing your mood, thoughts, emotions that are passing through the mind like clouds passing through the sky. You might notice any sounds that are present, my voice, your breath, maybe even your heartbeat. Any sensations, your clothes on your skin or coolness or the warmth of the air on your arms or legs. And at the sound of the bell, simply opening the eyes. Notice how you're feeling now. You could type this in the chat if you like. How are you feeling now after this brief stop practice? The stop practice you can do anytime, more relaxed. Yeah. Calm at ease. So you notice here how we went from our stress response being activated to activating our parasympathetic nervous system. Happier. Yeah, and it only took a few minutes to do that, to be able to do that. So what is resilience? We know what stress is. What is resilience? Resilience is not the absence of stress. No, we cannot stop stress. We're going to have stressors. It's actually good to have some stress. It's motivating at times. It's only when it's really constant that it becomes very damaging to the body. So resilience isn't the absence of stress. It is the ability to adapt to, cope with, and recover quickly from life's challenges and stresses, like you just did in this exercise. You experienced stress and you turned off the stress response and on your parasympathetic nervous system. Thus, you strengthen your resilience by doing this exercise. You were able to recover more quickly from this challenge or stressor that we experienced here. From the muck and mud of stress comes resilience like a lotus flower. So today we're going to review some resilience building practices. You've already experienced a couple. We're going to continue with that. Now, there are many, many, many resilience building practices. Perhaps some of the best are things like exercise, fantastic resilience building practice. Counseling, support groups, just increasing attention to positive emotions is a resilience building strategy by paying attention to what is good. Our minds have what is called a negativity bias, which means that we are very sticky for negative experiences and very slippery for positive experience. Now, why on earth would we be wired this way? Well, it's because we're wired to not die, basically. Our brains are protecting us from death by keeping us looking for danger at all times. We're always subconsciously looking for danger. Now, it used to be lions and tigers and bears, like I said, but now it's emails and bosses and people living with dementia who are having behavioral challenges. Now that's what we're experiencing. But let me give you an example of the negativity bias. Your boss in a performance review tells you 20 wonderful things that you're doing and one thing that you need to improve on. What are you thinking about tonight when you go to bed? Is it the one thing that you need to improve on? That's the negativity bias at work. So we'll talk more about this. Today, we're going to focus on mind-body practices, mindfulness, yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong. But you can find these other practices and more about them in the NeuroWell Guide, which I'll leave you as a resource at the end of the session. So we've already had a little taste of mindfulness today, but what does it mean? Mindfulness means paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. We've already practiced this. In the arriving practice and the stop practice, both of those were mindfulness practices where we paid attention to what was happening right now in a focused way and kindly. So cultivating mindfulness is training the mind to develop greater awareness of the present moment, including current physical sensations, thoughts and feelings, bringing in a spirit of curiosity, wonder, and friendliness, inclining toward ourselves like we might incline toward a puppy or a kitten or a small child with great sweetness and kindness. Now, why is it so important to be in the now? Well, like I said, the mind has a negativity bias. And when left on autopilot, the mind is scanning for danger. And because of the negativity bias, it's often bringing up things that aren't so great, dangers. So when the mind wanders to the past, it's often on autopilot, bringing up unresolved problems, or sadness. So things like an argument you had with your sister that was unresolved, or something that you wanted to do better or differently, something in the past that was difficult, typically. When the mind wanders on autopilot in the future, it's often worrying about stuff. It's planning and worrying about, oh, this is due or that's due, or I've got your to-do list. It's basically your to-do list that it's going over and over again, right? This is all to keep you safe, right? Which is great, but it keeps you alive, but it doesn't really lead to a lot of happiness. When we bring our attention and focus to the now, if you think about the now, right now, in this moment, you're basically okay. You've got a roof over your head. There's no lions or tigers chasing you. Your heart's beating. You're in good company. You're not flaming hot or freezing cold. You're basically all right in this moment. So these mind-body practices that we've already experienced and we'll review more today do something pretty amazing that we actually can control. We can't control the stressors, but we can control our reaction and what we do next when we experience them, right? We can't stop the waves, but we can learn to surf. So here we go. Attention is a superpower. Focusing our attention on the present moment and our current sensations, our present mind-body experience, turns off our stress response. It turns it off. That is a superpower, a huge superpower that leads with practice to greater feelings of well-being, ease, and happiness. And that's pretty amazing that we could have some control over that. So let's try a mindfulness practice, a mindfulness meditation right now. Here we go. Once again, finding a posture that allows you to be comfortably at rest, sitting upright to help you stay alert, but also relaxed, closing or softening your eyes, allowing your hands to rest easily on your lap. And as you come into stillness again, really sense that you're pausing here, arriving in presence in this moment with a really gentle attention, inclining toward yourself and your experience as you might incline toward a young child or a puppy or a kitten, with great care and sweetness, friendliness. Noticing the state of your body right now. Once again, taking a full deep breath and releasing it slowly, slowly as you can. Once again, inhaling deeply and exhaling slowly enough that you can feel the sensations of the exhale as your breath moves through your chest, your throat, your nostrils. Now allowing your breath to resume its natural rhythm and sense that you can soften. There are areas of tension, inviting them to soften. Feeling gravity and how the earth is supporting you, holding you here in this chair. Safe, secure, held, grounded. Notice this simple presence without judgment, the state of your body right now, where it is warm, where it is cool, where there is tension, where there is ease. Noticing too the state of your mind and heart just as it is, racing or quiet, joyful or sad. Whatever's here, just letting awareness hold it all. Simply being aware that you are here, feeling the breath move the body, the grounded sensations of being seated, held, present in this moment. Noticing that you can become present in the midst of whatever's going on for you, whether it's pleasant Whether there's pain or tension or worry, awareness notices and simply softens around it all with a spacious and kind presence. Noticing whatever is present just now, taking a few moments to soften, to find ease. Feeling the benefit of simply being present. Know that you can return to this again and again. The sounding of the bell will close this practice. You may invite your intention to be to carry this simple presence with you for the rest of the presentation. I invite you to notice how you're feeling now. As you open your eyes and type into chat, how are you feeling now? Calm, and now I want a kitten. Me too. Even more relaxed. Yeah, somebody's echoing that. So we've practiced mindfulness meditation. You see how you're feeling now. Now I'll present some meditation in motion. Yoga, Tai Chi, and Qigong. These are practices, they're really ancient mind-body well-being practices that connect movement and breath to reach a deep state of focus and relaxation. So all of these practices, yoga, tai chi, and qigong, contain a series of deliberate physical motions or poses while focusing on deep, slow breathing. So it's linking movement and breath. So breathing in one movement, breathing out another movement. And this serves to focus the mind even more. Okay, it's a way to focus the mind, just like focusing on the breath is a way to focus the mind and anchor. When your mind is busy focusing on, okay, I have to move like this and breathe out and move like this and breathe in, there's not much room for the past and the future or anything else that's going on. So these movements, our meditations and motion practices, are designed to reduce stress and build resilience, just like mindfulness. But in addition to mindfulness meditation, they also improve balance, strength and stretch and strengthen muscles, and improve flexibility of the body, as well as the mind. So these are ancient practices, quite literally. They're all thousands of years old. Yoga is a Sanskrit term for yoke or union. It literally means to come together or unite, indicating a perfect harmony between body and mind. This comes from India, and it's linking or yoking, uniting breath and movement as the focus. Okay, Tai Chi and Qigong both come from China, and they're both used again to cultivate power or energy. And this is focus, right? Attention. They cultivate life energy and the power that we have through focused attention to cultivate resilience. Again, this focus of attention, whether it's on the breath or breath and movement together, serves as a superpower to turn on your parasympathetic nervous system or turn off your stress response, turn on your Wonder Woman or Superman, and this leads to the feelings that you expressed in the chat: greater sense of ease, clarity, well-being, and happiness. All right. Has anybody tried yoga, Tai Chi, or Qigong? Stop sharing for a moment. You can respond if you want. Has anybody done these practices? Some yoga, good. A little Tai Chi? All right, great. So you have some of you have some familiarity with these practices. What we're going to do now is we're going to practice. I'm actually going to stop sharing, and hopefully you can see me. We're going to start. I'm going to give you a buffet. We're going to have a little buffet here, just a little bit. Remember to always take care of yourself. You don't have to do any of the practices. You can just watch, but I'd love for you to join me. So I'm going to back up a little bit so that you can see me, and we'll start in our chair with a little bit of chair yoga. But first, we have our feet on the floor. We've got our hands in our lap. We're sitting up straight. I want you to tuck your stomach in and tuck your tail. Maybe it might help to take your shoulders up and then back down your back. Close or soften your eyes for a moment, and let's take a few deep breaths again. Breathing in and then breathing out as slowly as you can. Just arriving here in this moment. And let us begin with a pose called cat-cow. So I'm going to ask you to place your hands on your knees. And then as you take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, I want you to curve your spine like a scaredy cat, right? So you're curving your spine, arching your back. And then as you breathe in, I want you to come up and do the opposite, shoulders up and back. Up. This is called cow pose, where the stomach is out. Normally we do this on all fours, but today we're doing it like this now. Breathing out, cat. Breathing in, cow. Breathing out, exhaling at your own pace. One breath, one movement. Breathing in, cow. One more time at your own pace. As you breathe out, cat. And as you breathe in, cow. And then coming to a neutral position. And then we'll take another deep breath in, and then we're going to twist by placing your left hand on your right knee. This is going to be the opposite for you. And then simply just exhaling, turning, not too hard, to the right. And then inhaling back to center, exhaling, turning to the left, inhaling back to center, exhaling, turn, twist right, holding your stomach in, tucking your tail, turning your neck very gently back to center. And one more time, turning to the left, and then coming back to center. And now I invite you to stand. Make a little noise here as I move my chair. You might move your chair. And I will step back as far as I can. And first, we're just going to stand. Take a few deep breaths. And we'll do a very modified sun A. So breathing in, I want you to lift your arms. You don't have to bend your knees. I'm trying to get in frame. Let me move my camera. Lift your arms. And then grab your left wrist with your right hand, suck in your stomach, tuck your tail, and just very easily lean to the right. Come back up. Breathing in, breathing out, grabbing your right wrist with your left hand, coming back up with a breath in, and then repeating, breathe out, breathe in to come back up, lower those shoulders, breathe out, breathe in, come back up, and then come back to center. That's a little taste of yoga. Many of you have had yoga experience before. So now we'll do a little qigong, 2 poses that we can try. Remember, it's all about the breath. So if you're seated in your chair and you decided not to move, just breathing in and out, you get this so much benefit. That's just fine. So with qigong, we're going to start with gathering energy. Okay. So first we're going to breathe in. And then as you breathe out, move your hands to the side like this, okay? And then breathing in, we're going to lift the hands to the top. We're going to gather energy and put the hands one on top of the other. We're gathering energy and then pushing the energy down as we breathe out. And then breathing in, we're going to gather the energy from the earth and then breathing in, standing up straight here. Breathing out, arms back to the side. Let's do that a couple more times. Breathing in, gathering the energy. Breathing out, pushing the energy down. Breathing in, gathering the energy. Breathing out, arms to the side. And once to your own breath, when you breathe in, you gather the energy from the heavens. Breathe out, coming down. Breathe in, gather. And breathe out, rest. Okay, we're going to do one more qigong pose. I invite you to step forward as you breathe in. Step forward with any foot, just a little bit, one step. And then as you breathe out, I want you to push away what's not needed. And then as you breathe in, pull in what you need. Love, care, tenderness, whatever you need. Breathe out, push away. You're leaning onto your front foot. Breathe in, pull back. You might even point your front toe. Let's do this a couple more times. Breathing out. Breathing in. Rocking the body with the breath. All your attention on the breath. Breathing out and the movement. Breathing in. You can do the other foot if you like. Breathing out. Breathing in. Now stop. Now we'll do a few Tai Chi moves. You'll notice that all of these are very similar, so they'll be easy for you to notice. So we'll start with, almost all Tai Chi moves start with just stepping out to the right, bending the knees a little bit, okay? And we'll start with this move, which is just breathing in, standing, breathing out, bending the knees and coming down. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Now in Tai Chi, come back to center. The move that we learned, the one that's rocking back and forth, is basically the same, but we step out and then we move to the side and we rock back and forth, breathing out and breathing in and breathing out and breathing in and breathing out, breathing in And breathing out, and we'll switch to the other side. The other foot is pointed. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And then coming back to center. And taking a few breaths. Finding your seat. As you sit, after that activity, noticing how you're feeling now. Now that your body potentially has moved. Noticing the breath. Maybe noticing your heart rate is a little higher, or perhaps there's some tingling sensation in your muscles or your skin. Just noticing how you're feeling now. And for lack of time, we'll move forward. Most people notice the same kinds of feelings and sensations they noticed before, only there's a little, of course, more movement and muscle activation. So strengthening the body as you strengthen the mind. Practicing forward, you can continue to integrate these practices into your life through reading or listening, practicing at home, through YouTube. There's all sorts of apps and YouTube videos for yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, and mindfulness practice. You could take a class like mindfulness-based stress reduction, which is offered at the University of Minnesota, or mindfulness-based dementia care, which I'll say a little more about in a minute. Or, of course, you could take a yoga, Tai Chi, or Qigong class, or even do a retreat, a mindfulness retreat, or yoga retreat for that matter. This is a little bit about mindfulness-based dementia care, which was created just for caregivers of people with dementia, and the mindfulness practices focus on caring for someone with dementia mindfully. What are you going to try next? Maybe take a moment to think about what you might try next, and how you might integrate these practices, these superpowers, into your life. Maybe you'll try stopping. Maybe you'll try a guided mindfulness practice. Maybe you'll try yoga, Tai Chi, or Qigong. The NeuroWell Guide is available online and contains information about what we talked today in the resilience section, as well as other sections that build resilience, like connection, purpose, and joy, activity, and care. So as we close, I'll say that whatever happens, and we all know the unpredictable, alarming things that can, the most valuable response is your steady, calm, and caring presence. And I hope for you that these practices that we learned today, if you practice them and incorporate them into your life, will help you to build resilience and arrive with presence. Arrive with your steady, calm, and caring presence. Parasympathetic nervous system forward. Thank you for your attention today.